the uncreated and unending. Purna Maitrayani Putra asked, if Bodhi, which is basically absolute and enlightened and is the same as the unchanging Tathagata mind, can suddenly create mountains, rivers, the great earth, and other phenomena, when will the Buddha, who has attained absolute enlightenment, again give rise to the worldly perception of mountains, rivers, and the great earth? The Buddha said, Purna Maitrayani Putra, if a man loses his way to a village by mistaking south for north, does his error come from delusion or enlightenment? Purna Maitrayani Putra replied, from neither. Why? Because since delusion has no root, how can this error come from it? Since enlightenment does not beget delusion, how can it cause him to err? The Buddha asked, if this man, while erring, suddenly meets someone who shows him the right way, do you think in spite of his mistake he will lose his way again? Purna Maitrayani Putra replied, no, world-honored one. The Buddha said, Purna Maitrayani Putra, it is the same with all Buddhas in the 10 directions. Delusion has no root, for it has no self-nature. Fundamentally, there has never been delusion, and though there is some semblance of it, when one is awakened, it vanishes, for Bodhi does not beget it. This is like a man suffering from an optical illusion who sees flowers in the sky. If he is cured, these flowers will disappear. But if he waits for them to appear again, do you call him stupid or intelligent? Purna Maitrayani Putra replied, fundamentally, space has no flowers, but due to defective sight, they are seen as being in the void. This is already a false attitude. If in addition they are required to appear again, this is mere folly. How then can that man be called stupid or intelligent? The Buddha said, since you have interpreted well the non-existence of flowers in the sky, why do you still ask me about the immaterial absolute Bodhi of all Buddhas creating mountains, rivers, and the great earth? It is like ore which contains pure gold. Once the latter is extracted, it cannot be mixed with the ore again. It is also like the ashes of burnt wood, which cannot become wood again. It is the same with all Buddhas of the nirvanic enlightenment. The unhindered intermingling of noumenon and phenomenon. Purna Maitrayani Putra, you now ask about the elements of earth, water, fire, and wind, which fundamentally intermingle without hindrance in the Dharma realm. You are in doubt about why the elements of water and fire do not destroy each other, and how the elements of space and earth can contain each other. Purna Maitrayani Putra, take for instance space, which differs greatly from all forms, but which does not prevent them from manifesting in it. Why? Because space is radiant in the sun and dark when the sky is cloudy. It moves with the wind, is bright in a clear sky, hazy in mist, obscure in a dust storm, and is reflected when above clear water. Do you think that these transient forms in different places are created by these conditions, or that they come from space? If they come from these conditions, then when the sun shines, there is sunlight, and all the worlds in the 10 directions should be identical with the sun. Then why is the sun seen in the sky? If space shines, it would shine upon itself. Why then at night, or when there are clouds and fog, is there no light? Light, therefore, is neither the same as nor different from sun and space. Thus, when looked into, essentially there are no forms, that is, the 7 elements, for they cannot be pointed out, like unreal flowers in the sky, that can only produce unreal fruit. So why do you inquire about their mutual destruction? But when their underlying nature is looked into, it is fundamentally real, for it is absolute Bodhi. Since this absolute enlightened mind is basically neither water nor fire, why do you question their mutual hindrance? Within this true and absolute Bodhi enlightenment, if you give rise to the karmic illusion of space, space will manifest. If you have similar illusions of earth, water, fire, and wind, one after another, they will manifest separately. And if you give rise to them all, they will appear simultaneously. Purna Maitrayani Putra, what does simultaneous appearance mean? If two men walking in opposite directions see the sun reflected in water, each will see the reflection follow in his direction. There is no fixed standard here, and you cannot query why one sun can move in opposite directions or why two suns are seen when only one appears in the sky, thereby deepening your delusion without any prop on which to hold. Expounding the common source of delusion and enlightenment to sum up the intermingling of phenomenon and noumenon. Purna Maitrayani Putra, because you cling to form and space that displace each other in the Tathagata Store, the latter in accordance with your karma manifests as space and form which pervade the whole Dharma realm, and as a result there appear within it the blowing wind, still voidness, a bright sun, and dark clouds. Due to their delusion and perplexity, living beings turn their backs on Bodhi and cling to sense objects, thereby giving rise to troubles or klesha, with the resultant appearance of illusory forms. As to me, my uncreated and unending profound enlightenment accords with the Tathagata Store, which is absolute Bodhi, and ensures my perfect insight into the Dharma realm, where the one is infinite and the infinite is one, where the large manifests in the small and vice versa, where the immovable Bodhi mandala appears everywhere, where my body embraces the 10 directions of inexhaustible space, where the kingdom of treasures, that is the Buddha land, appears on the tip of a hair, and where I sit in a speck of dust to turn the wheel of the Dharma. As I have wiped out all illusory objects of senses to accord with Bodhi, I have realized the nature of the absolute enlightenment of the Buddha Tathata.